Hello and welcome to Chinese Novel Audio Wave. Explore our playlist for more captivating novels, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new audiobook. Now, let's dive into today's story. Chapter 21, Zuhei Conference Part 2. The condition for the appearance of the stripes is. As for the heartbeat and body temperature, first raise your body temperature to 39 degrees, and then increase your heartbeat frequency to more than 200 times. Yuan Yi's words shocked everyone present. 39 degrees. Kocho Shinobu, who is proficient in medical skills, couldn't help but smack his lips. In that case, life is already greatly endangered. If you are not careful, you will really die. That's right. Yuan Yi's face was serious at this time. It is the power gained between life and death that can once force the evil spirit into a desperate situation. As for the theory of resonance, the reason why the stripes will be opened one after another. The convincing statement is that when a person's stripes appear, they will transfer heat and energy to the surroundings, prompting the people around to open the stripes together. So it's mainly one's own temperature and heartbeat. After listening to Yuan Yi's words, the pillars were also eager to try, and couldn't wait to open the stripes. Come and try it. But Yuan Yi still had to pour cold water on them. There is another important point to note. Yuan Yi's words once again brought the excited crowd back to reality. Although the markings can comprehensively enhance the power of the swordsman, but all swordsmen who open the markings, except those who are born with the markings, will not live beyond the age of 25. Yuan Yi's words once again made the scene fall into silence. Himahima Kume rubbed the rosary in her hand and said with tears in her eyes, "What if I open the markings?" Namo Amitabha. Seeing the scene fall into silence, Kagaya spoke again, and the initial breathing is also called the breathing of the sun, which is the breathing method used by Yuan Yi, plus the markings you are born with. These may be the will of heaven in the dark. This may also be a sign. The swordsman in the Warring States period almost killed Muzan, and now the generation with the markings will definitely kill Muzan completely. Ubuyashiki Kagaya's words seemed to be full of power, and his firm and gentle voice once again aroused the fighting spirit of everyone present. Yes. Everyone present said excitedly. Everyone has worked hard until now. It's getting late. Now we will move on to the last item of the schedule. Yuan Yi also became serious at this moment and looked to the side. As expected, Tanjiro was bound by two members of the hidden team and carried in and placed in front of the pillars. Let's hold a meeting on how to deal with the Kamado siblings. The pillars also looked at Kamado Tanjiro on the ground. What? It's said that he is a member of the Demon Slayer Corps with a demon. A gorgeously dressed pillar said. It was the sound pillar Uzui Tengen. I was expecting a stylish guy. It turned out to be an ordinary little demon. Well, next, we will judge this boy. That's it. Kyujiro still looked ahead with a sharp gaze like the others. And the mist pillar Tokito Muichiro was always in a trance, looking at the white clouds in the sky. He actually kept protecting his sister who turned into a demon. What a wonderful brother-sister love. How brave. This is Kanroji Mitsuri. Most of the pillars don't have a good impression of Tanjiro. After all, for the pillars, demons are the mortal enemies of humans, and they must be eliminated. Before judging this kid, say something, Tomioka. At this time, the snake pillar Iguro Obanai turned his spearhead to Tomioka Giyu. According to Kocho Shinobu, you also violated the team rules at that time. How should we punish him? How should we make him take responsibility? What kind of situation should we put him in? Tanjiro looked at the aggressive Iguro Obanai, and then looked at the silent Tomioka Giyu, and the self-blame in his heart burst out. It's all because of me that Mr. Tomioka. It doesn't matter, anyway, he followed honestly. Kocho Shinobu started to smooth things over at this time. Let's think about the punishment later. In comparison, I want to hear what this little guy has to say. This little guy is a member of the Demon Slayer Corps, but he brought demons to the mission. I want to hear the little guy's explanation about this. Of course, this is against the rules of the Demon Slayer Corps. Kocho Shinobu smiled at Tanjiro. You understand this, right? Tanjiro couldn't say anything to refute. Kamado Tanjiro, why do you bring demons with you as a member of the Demon Slayer Corps? Kocho Shinobu asked Tanjiro with a smile. It's okay to talk slowly, please talk. Seeing this, Tanjiro took a deep breath and began to tell everyone about his experience with Nezuko. Finally, Tanjiro assured everyone. Nezuko will never hurt anyone. Don't say boring nonsense. After all, it is natural to protect your family. Iguro Obanai attacked again. What you said is totally unbelievable. I won't believe it. Please listen to me. Tanjiro's emotions began to get excited at this time. Nezuko became a demon 2 years ago. During this time, Nezuko never ate anyone. She can be a member of the Demon Slayer Corps and protect humans. At this time, the sound pillar spoke again. You keep talking in circles. I have never eaten anyone and I will never eat anyone in the future. These are not just words, but a gorgeous proof to us. Da. The movement on the side attracted everyone's attention. Everyone turned around and found that Shinazugawa Sanemi was about to reach out to the wooden box containing Nezuko, while Yuani grabbed Shinazugawa's arm with one hand and protected the box with the other hand. Hey, what do you mean, Jigoku? Shimi looked at Yuani. What do you mean? Yuani responded without fear. Need I say more? At this time, Kocho Shinobu also stood up. Mr. Shinazugawa, please don't act on your own. What ghost are you talking about, little guy? Shinazuwa Sanemi looked at Tanjiro. Can you be a member of the Demon Slayer Corps? Can you protect humans? How is that possible? Idiot. Shimi was about to draw his sword. Calm down, my lovely children. Everyone knelt down again. Excuse me, my lord. Sorry to interrupt you. Kagaya said gently. I recognize Tanjiro and Nezuko, and I hope everyone can recognize them too. Even if it is the Lord's request, it is difficult for me to agree. Himehime Kyume said. I also objected splendidly. It is really difficult to recognize a member of the Demon Slayer Corps with a demon. And the Kanroji side expressed that they would obey the Lord's arrangement. Shinazugawa Sanemi even said, killing Demon Slayer is the Demon Slayer Corps. I hope you can deal with the Kamado brothers and sisters. Looking at the performance of everyone, Kagaya slowly asked the girl next to her to take out a letter. This letter is from Lord Urokodaki Sakanji, who is the original pillar. I will read part of it. The girl began to read the letter in her hand. Please allow Tanjiro to be with her sister who is a demon. Nezuko relies on her strong mental strength and still maintains her rationality as a human. She didn't eat people even when she was hungry, and she spent more than 2 years like this. Although it is hard to believe immediately, it is a solid fact. If Nezuko attacks others, Kamado Tanjiro, Urokodaki Sakanji and Tomioka Giyu will commit seppuku to apologize. Tanjiro couldn't help crying after hearing the content of the letter. But what does seppuku prove? If she really kills people to eat, it will be too late. The people who are eaten can't come back. It's not a guarantee at all. That's true. Kagaya's answer made Shinazugawa Sanemi's eyes light up. But Kagaya changed the subject again. There is no guarantee that she won't attack people, and there is no proof. But, there is no proof that she will attack people. Nezuko hasn't eaten anyone for more than 2 years, that's a fact. And the 3 of them risked their lives for Nezuko, if you want to deny this. The party who denies must also come up with something of higher value. Do you have that will? And there is something I must tell the children. That is that this Tanjiro and Yuani have had contact with Kibutsuji Muzan. Chapter 22 Tanjiro and Nezuko. Tanjiro and Yuani have encountered Kibutsuji Muzan before. This sentence shocked all the pillars present. How could it be, no one has ever come into contact with him before? No, except for the newly promoted Yaoju Jigyu Yuani. These 2 guys actually. The pillars present focused their eyes on Yuani and Tanjiro. What does he look like? What are his abilities? Where is his place? Have you fought? What is Kibutsuji doing? Have you found his lair? Answer me. Shut up. I asked first. Everyone asked at once. Yuani was also confused. First of all, it's Kibutsuji Muzan's ability. At this time, Kagaya put his finger on his mouth and made a gesture of silence, and everyone immediately quieted down. Kibutsuji. He is currently sending ghosts to hunt down Tanjiro and the other 2. Although his reason may be simply to silence them. But I caught Kibutsuji's tail for the first time, and I don't want to let go. I'm afraid that something unexpected happened to Nezuko. Do you understand? I don't understand, Lord. Shinazugawa Sanemi protested again. If it's a human, it's okay to let it go, but not ghosts. Until now, we, the Demon Slayer Corps, have fought with such great faith. How many people have sacrificed for it? So I can't agree. After saying that, Shinazugawa Sanemi cut his arm with a knife, and blood began to flow out. What is he doing? It will dirty the courtyard. Kanroji thought as he watched Shinazugawa's behavior. Lord, I'll prove it, he said and went to take the wooden box next to Yueni. What are you going to do? Yueni asked. Need I say more? Of course I will reveal the true face of the ghost. My blood is thin blood. If she can hold back, I will trust her for now. Shinazugawa Sanemi said as she was about to grab the wooden box. Yueni ignored his actions and took the wooden box into the house. It's better to prove it here. I believe in Tanjiro, and naturally I believe in Tanjiro's sister. Shinazugawa Sanemi saw this and walked into the house, swinging her knife at the wooden box without hesitation. Yueni did not stop Shimi's actions, because the ghost would be more eager for blood after being hurt, and only Nezuko who passed the test in this state could initially gain the trust of everyone. The injured Nezuko immediately cried out in pain. Seeing this scene, Tanjiro began to struggle frantically, and the hidden members immediately held Tanjiro down. Seeing that the time was ripe, Shinazugawa opened the wooden door of the wooden box, and Nezuko also rushed out of the box. At this time, Nezuko drooled in her mouth and stared at Shinazugawa Sanemi's bleeding arm. Ha ha ha. Shinazugawa Sanemi also laughed triumphantly upon seeing this. Nezuko. Tanjiro suddenly broke free and shouted at Nezuko. Nezuko's mind began to become dazed, and her mind was about to be overwhelmed by the surging appetite. At this moment, her brother's voice rang in her mind. She is my sister, not a monster. Nezuko is not like that. The voices and smiles of her family members emerged in her mind one by one in the trance. In a deeper consciousness, humans are all your family, go and protect them. Countless figures overlapped, and in the end only Tanjiro was left standing in the snow. Nezuko saw Tanjiro suddenly wake up. Yes, people need protection and help. Don't hurt them. Absolutely don't hurt them. In reality, Nezuko shook her head to the side in Shinazugawa's stunned eyes. Even though she was stabbed 3 times by Shinazugawa-sama. Even though the bloody arm was right in front of her. She endured it and didn't bite it. Kagaya nodded slightly and said. Then this proves that Nezuko won't attack others. Tanjiro. Tanjiro was slightly stunned and immediately replied. Yes, even if Nezuko passes the test, there will still be many people who don't recognize her in the future. You have to prove it, from now on. Tanjiro and Nezuko can fight as a member of the Demon Slayer Corps. Something that can be used. Tanjiro looked at the man in front of her and felt her body light. Why? Is it because of his voice? Go and defeat 12 Kazuki. Then everyone will recognize you. The weight of Tanjiro's words will change. Kagaya said to Tanjiro gently. Nezuko and I will definitely destroy Muzan. Nezuko and I will definitely break the shackles of sadness. Kagaya smiled and said to Tanjiro. Tanjiro can't do it now. First, defeat a 12 Kazuki. Tanjiro blushed when he came to his senses. Tanjiro should also pay attention to the way he speaks. The pillars present have all gone through hard training, crossed life and death, and killed 12 Kazuki. That's why they are respected and loved by everyone. Yes, Tanjiro replied seriously. Then, the question about Tanjiro ends here. Thank you for your hard work, it's noon now, everyone go back and rest. Time passed, and it was noon before they knew it. After saying goodbye to Kagaya, everyone left the mansion in an orderly manner. Speaking of which, we haven't been together for a long time. This is a rare opportunity. Why don't we have a meal together? Kanroji Mitsuri suddenly suggested. Yeah, that's a good suggestion. I agree. Yueni and Kyujiro certainly had no objection. After all, they hadn't seen each other for a long time. The other pillars also agreed with this proposal. Great. Seeing that no one objected, Kanroji Mitsuri also smiled happily. But at this time, Tomioka Giyu left the team alone. Mr. Giyu doesn't plan to join us. Chapter 23 I'm Not Hated. Hey, Mr. Tomioka is not going to have dinner with us. Kanroji Mitsuri shouted when he saw Tomioka Giyu leaving alone. Well, I am not the same kind of person as you. Tomioka Gyu left silently after saying that. Kanroji Mitsuri was a little disappointed when he failed to invite Tomioka Gyu. This guy. It's really annoying. What's his attitude? Does he think we are not worthy of having dinner with him? Seeing the disappointed Kanroji Mitsuri, Iguro Obanai was unhappy at the time. Everyone present was a pillar, but only Tomioka Gyu put on an expression of deep hatred every day, which seemed incompatible with them. Like Tanjiro, Tomioka Gyu is also a user of water breathing, but the difference in personality seems to be huge. But Yuani didn't think so. Maybe Mr. Tomioka is just not good at speaking or doesn't like occasions with many people. Yuani explained to everyone. In Yuani's eyes, one of Tanjiro and Tomioka Gyu is socially phobic, and the other is also socially phobic. From the time he met Tomioka Gyu until now, Yuani has never heard him speak a complete sentence. And like a paralyzed face, his face has no expression at all. Then Yuani followed all the pillars except Tomioka Gyu to have dinner together. As for the dinner scene, Yuani can summarize it in one sentence. Kanroji Mitsuri on the left, Oyi delicious. Rengoku Kyujiro on the right, 5 ants. The voices of the two people came one after another. On the other side, Shinazugawa Sanemi, who looks fierce, ate very quietly, taking a bite of hagi mochi and a bite of matcha. Kocho Shinobu still squinted his eyes and smiled, but I don't know what he was thinking. Muichiro stopped thinking after taking a bite of rice and looked up at the sky. What was I saying just now? Am I eating? Why am I eating? Uzui Tengen was eating while being narcissistic. This fish is so gorgeous. Gorgeous food and gorgeous me. Iguro Obanai kept approaching Kanroji Mitsuri, and sent the food to the side of Kanroji Temple without making a sound. After feeding successfully, he immediately moved away from Kanroji Mitsuri. As expected, Himehime Kyume was eating rice while chanting sutras, with tears streaming down her face. But Iguro Obanai stared at Yuani, and Yuani also noticed it, but Yuani had no choice. Yuani, junior brother, try this. It's delicious. Kanroji Mitsuri kept picking up food for Yuani while talking, and he was almost feeding Yuani himself. And Iguro Obanai saw that most of the food he gave to Kanroji Temple went into Yuani's bowl, and his eyes began to become empty. Not good. Really not good. Senior sister. Don't mess with me. The jealous king next to him is really going to break down. At this time, Iguro Obanai stared at Yuani with the eyes of death, and his whole body exuded black air, as if saying, "Boy, if you dare to eat it, I will kill you, yo." Because of this, Yuani couldn't eat a single bite of food. This also made Yuani understand a truth. When you stare at Kanroji Mitsuri, Iguro Obanai will also stare at you. In other words, when Kanroji Mitsuri stares at you, Iguro Obanai will also stare at you. The person involved, Yuani, said, "Is there a ghost? Come and save me. Mr. Tomioka, I understand you very much now. So can you save me?" Yuani shouted wildly in his heart. "That, Mr. Iguro. How about we change seats? You want to sit in this seat and keep looking at me." Yuani couldn't help but speak. "Haha. Who wants to sit in your seat? You are too self-righteous. And when did I stare at you?" Iguro Obanai said and turned his eyes away from Yuani. "I clearly saw Kanroji Mitsuri. As long as you are happy." Seeing that Iguro Obanai was no longer looking at him, Yuani started eating again. At this time, Yuani's bowl was already piled up like a mountain. But when he started eating again, Yuani felt the gaze on him again. Yuani was helpless about this, but he accelerated the progress of eating. Now he completely felt that it was an absolutely wise choice for Tomioka Gyu not to come to eat. Boom. After a while, Yuani finished the food in the bowl. "I'm done. Thank you for the treat." After saying that, Yuani immediately stood up and said to Iguro Obanai, "Mr. Iguro, I'm done here. I think it's a bit crowded over there. Why don't you sit here first?" Then Yuani looked at Kanroji Mitsuri and Kyujiro. "Master Rengoku, I'll go digest my food first, and then we'll have a good reunion later." After saying that, Yuani walked out the door. Yuani also saw Iguro Obanai's feelings for Kanroji Mitsuri, but because they had not confirmed their relationship, Iguro Obanai had an inexplicable hostility towards all the opposite S**X who approached Kanroji Mitsuri. Well, according to Iguro Obanai's jealous personality, even if they confirmed their relationship, it wouldn't get better. After all, Kanroji Mitsuri has a carefree personality, has a good impression of everyone, and is equally enthusiastic towards everyone, and Iguro Obanai can't stand seeing other opposite S**X approach Kanroji Mitsuri. Ah, what a trouble. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audio Wave. Yuan now wants to try to match them up and see if Kanroji can take in this evildoer. However, Iguro Obanai has such a weird personality and speaks in a twisted way. If he is really with Kanroji, will he often sulk and die of anger? Yuan has reservations about this. After hearing Yuan's proposal, Xiaobanai was also stunned for a moment. He looked at the two burly men next to him, and then looked at Kanroji Mitsuri opposite. At this time, Iguro Obanai suddenly felt that Yuan in front of him was much more pleasing to the eye. After all, he was Kanroji's junior brother, and rounded off as his junior brother. Ah, it's a bit crowded, Xiaobanai said, and then he got up and walked to Yuan's seat and sat down. Looking at Kanroji Mitsuri next to him, Iguro Obanai said, "You kid, you are very sensible. I recognize you as the pillar." Then he began to send food to Kanroji Mitsuri. And Kanroji Mitsuri was so serious about eating that he didn't notice that someone had changed beside him. Ah, I am so tired. Yuan sighed in his heart and then walked out. Originally, Yuan planned to take a rest in the yard, but when he came out, he found Tomioka Giyu sitting on the steps at the door, eating salmon and radish bento alone. Yuan was surprised to find that Tomioka Giyu was wearing a faint smile while eating, which made Yuan wipe his eyes. But Tomioka Giyu returned to his usual expressionless face after discovering the visitor, which made Yuan wonder if he had hallucinations. Why is Mr. Tomioka eating alone? Why not eat with everyone? Yuan asked curiously. I am not alone. Tomioka Giyu did retort after hearing this. Hey, are you focusing on the wrong point? Oh, really? Tomioka Giyu's words really choked Yuan, and he didn't know how to respond at all. He is really good at chatting. Yuan no longer dwelled on this issue, and said to Tomioka Giyu. Mr. Tomioka, you should actually be more confident. I can see that you don't look down on others, but if you are always silent, people will often misunderstand you, so people will say they hate you. Exclamation mark. Yuan's words seemed to touch Tomioka Giyu's nerves. He was stunned for a rare moment, and then said seriously. I am not hated. Tisk. Yuan really didn't know what to say. You, forget it, just be happy. Chapter 24, Infinite Train Prelude. Mr. Tomioka is undoubtedly slow. Yuan said that he couldn't talk for a moment that day. Suddenly Yuan thought of a topic. Mr. Tomioka, are you familiar with Tanjiro? I see that you are closer to Tanjiro. Hearing Yuan mention Tanjiro, Tomioka Giyu finally responded and nodded and said. He is a disciple of the trainer Mr. Yorokotaki like me. Then how did Mr. Tomioka know Tanjiro? Seeing Tomioka Giyu open up, Yuan continued to ask. Tomioka Giyu was silent for a while, and then said. It was in the winter 2 years ago. I met him when I was on a mission. Giyu paused when he said this. When I followed the ghost's breath to Tanjiro's home, his family was killed by the ghost, and his sister became a ghost. It can be seen that Tomioka Giyu concealed some details, but Yuan didn't care. Then I recommended him to Mr. Yorokotaki. Like most ghost hunters, he originally had a happy family, but it was suddenly destroyed by evil ghosts, and he embarked on the road of ghost hunting. I see. After listening to Tomioka Giyu's words, Yuan felt better about Tanjiro. Even if his relatives were killed by ghosts. Even if his closest sister was turned into an evil ghost. Even if the evil ghost took away everything from him. Tanjiro can still have a gentle heart. And Tanjiro's gentleness is just right. Although he sympathizes with the ghost's experience, it does not prevent him from destroying the evil ghost. His gentleness is rational, compassionate but never foolish, kind but not soft-hearted. I like Tanjiro very much, I like his gentleness. It should be said that no one will dislike Tanjiro after spending a long time with him. He is too gentle and infinitely tolerant of others. But I know I can't be like him, but this doesn't prevent me from being his friend. To be honest, with such a partner around, I can completely trust him with my back. Gentle but not blind, compassionate but not saintly, this is Yuan Yi's evaluation of Tanjiro. It's getting late, Mr. Tomioka, you should also have a good rest. Yuan Yi said to Tomioka Giyu. Well, oh, okay. Tomioka Giyu hasn't reacted to Yuan Yi's words. Half a month has passed, and at this time an unexpected person came to Yuan Yi. Mr. Tieshueson, Yuan Yi asked puzzledly as he looked at Tieshueson wearing a mask in front of him. Why did you come here today? Oh, congratulations, Mr. Yuan Yi. I didn't expect you to become a pillar after not seeing you for a while. It's amazing. I was shocked when I received the news. Tieshueson didn't answer Yuan Yi's question, but congratulated Yuan Yi on becoming a pillar. But think about it, after all, he is a swordsman with an unprecedented red Nichiren blades. Oh, right. Tieshueson suddenly thought of something. I came here today to engrave the 4 words, evil destroy, on your Nichiren blades, which only pillar-level swordsmen have. By the way, I'll take care of your sword. Tieshueson's tone was full of joy, because in his opinion, it was an honor to be able to make Nichiren blades for the pillars. I understand. Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Tieshueson. Yuan Yi took off the Nichiren blades from his waist and handed them to Tieshueson with both hands. Then I'll have to trouble you, Mr. Tieshueson. No problem, I've brought all the tools and will be able to finish the work soon. Please wait patiently. After taking the Nichiren blades, Tieshueson began his work, and Yuan Yi also walked out of the room and waited patiently. In one afternoon, Tieshueson completed his work. Okay, my work is done, let's try it. Tieshueson seemed a little excited at this time, and Yuan Yi didn't hesitate, took the Nichiren blades and looked at it. The next moment, the Nichiren blades in Yuan Yi's hand began to turn red, which made this knife undergo a drastic change. So beautiful. Even though he had seen it once before, Tieshueson still sighed for this red color. Thank you, Mr. Yuan Yi. Let me see such a beautiful knife again. Tieshueson was a little choked up at this moment. After forging Nichiren blades, we swordsmiths hope to see Nichiren blades turn red. But no one has been able to do this for so many years. Tetsuke was very satisfied with the work he did for the Demon Slayer Corps this time. Judging from the use of the sword, Yui cherished Nichiren blades very much, which also made Tetsuke-san like Yui more. Well, my work is done. I hope you can use this red blade to completely kill the evil Demon Slayer. Thank you for your good words. Goodbye, Mr. Tetsuke-san. Yui thanked Tetsuke-san and watched him leave. The dawn light quietly fell, and in a moment it covered the ground. At this time, Kyujiro and Yui were enjoying their leisure time in the yard. Gah! Gah! Kyujiro's crow flew to the railing on the side. Teacher, do you have a new task? Ah! Kyujiro nodded. I just got the information that a suspected ghost was found on a train called the Infinite Train. The swordsman we sent out has also lost contact, and it has affected ordinary people. We can't just leave it alone. Huh? Is Mr. Rengoku going alone? Yuan Yi asked. The headquarters has also sent other swordsmen to investigate. We will meet at the station. Yuan Yi immediately said after hearing this. Then I can go together. I have never been on a mission with the teacher. Yuan Yi, you are also a pillar now. You have your own jurisdiction. You can't be willful. Yuan Yi was a little disappointed when he heard Kyujiro's words. But Kyujiro changed the subject at this time. The train will just pass through your jurisdiction. It should be no problem if we go together this time. Really? Then let's set off quickly. Yuan Yi happily ran into the yard to pack his bags. Looking at the sun in the sky, Kyujiro said with great vigor. I will definitely kill the evil spirits and protect everyone. Kyujiro's haori fluttered in the wind, and under the sunlight, Kyujiro's back was so reassuring. Chapter 25, Infinite Train 1. Demon Slayer Core Base, Butterfly House. The 3 little ones are training in the Butterfly House. Yuan Yi saw Tanjiro and the others after entering the Butterfly House. Tanjiro was training with Kanao at this time. The two sat face to face, and there were many teacups on the table in the middle, and there was an unknown liquid in the teacups. The two of them flipped their hands quickly on the table, trying to grab the teacups while holding down the others' hands that grabbed the teacups. Zenitsu and Inosuke were completely dumbfounded. A few days ago, they couldn't even fight back, but now they are completely evenly matched. Monsters. Both of them are monsters in human skin. Yuan Yi did not disturb their training, but watched silently from the side. At this time, Kanzaki Aoi on the side discovered Yuan Yi coming in. Mr. Yuan Yi, good day. Are they training their reaction ability? Yuan Yi asked. Well, they are all very talented, especially Tanjiro. With strong willpower, Tanjiro has made the most progress among the three. Kanzaki Aoi was generous in his evaluation of the three. During the conversation, the competition between Tanjiro and Kanao reached a climax and was about to be decided. The winner is decided. Tanjiro suddenly seized the opportunity to hold down Kanao's hand, and then quickly picked up a cup of medicinal tea, but Tanjiro did not splash it on Kanao's face but gently placed the cup on Kanao's head. Thank you, Miss Kanao. Tanjiro, who was a little out of breath at this time, said to Kanao. Kanao still did not speak, but just looked at Tanjiro indifferently. Tanjiro stretched his body and planned to go outside to exercise again, but suddenly saw Yuan Yi standing in the corner. Brother Yuan Yi! Tanjiro shouted in surprise. Inosuke and Zenitsu turned their heads to look at Yuan Yi after hearing this, and then found that Yuan Yi stood behind them without knowing when. Amazing. I didn't sense their breath at all. Brother Yuan Yi! Zenitsu rushed to Yuan Yi with tears in her eyes. I don't want to take medicine for training anymore. I'm already completely healed, but they still want me to drink such a bad drink. Zenitsu kept crying to Yuan Yi. Training is really tiring. Brother Yuan Yi is also a pillar now, can they at least not let me drink that kind of medicine? Of course not. Kanzaki Aoi retorted. Mr. Zenitsu has been poisoned deeply. On the surface, he is fine, but if he is not properly treated, there may be sequelae. Ah. I don't want it. Zenitsu was frightened by Kanzaki Aoi's tone. Originally, Zenitsu had no aversion to training and even enjoyed it, but after a period of training, Zenitsu has developed a fear of Kanzaki Aoi and Kanao. Zenitsu, listen to the doctor. Miss Kanzaki is only trying to make you healthy. Of course the medicine is hard to drink. Good medicine tastes bitter. Yuan Yi advised Zenitsu earnestly. Of course I know. But I really don't want to drink that kind of medicine. Zenitsu could only accept the fact that he had to continue drinking the medicine. So what is the matter with brother Yuan Yi this time? Tanjiro asked. Well, I just came to see you on the way, and then I will go to carry out the mission. Gaga, gaga. The familiar crow's cry came again. The number of victims of the infinite train has increased again. More than 40 people are missing. Everyone go to meet up with Rengoku Kyujiro who is in charge of the area. Go to the west immediately. On the other side, Ubuyashiki Mansion. I have asked Tanjiro and others to participate in the mission of the infinite train. Can I hear the reason why Shinobu recommended Tanjiro? Ubuyashiki Kagaya gently asked Kocho Shinobu in front of him. Kamado is very honest, hardworking and able to accumulate. His development potential is far beyond my expectations. The most important thing is that he has a clear goal of achieving Kibutsuji Muzan. Kocho Shinobu said slowly. Finally, Tanjiro said that his father had used the breath of fire. It would be helpful to have him work with Mr. Rengoku and Mr. Yuan Yi. He must be able to guide him in some way. Kagaya smiled gently after hearing Kocho Shinobu's explanation. Yes, a sister who turned into a ghost but didn't eat people, plus Yuan Yi's experience with Kibutsuji Muzan. Maybe this is their fate. Let's go. Let's go. After saying goodbye to everyone in the butterfly house, Yuan Yi took the three little ones on the journey to the infinite train. At the door of the butterfly house, the three little ones of the butterfly house brought a basket of rice balls for everyone. Please accept this. Please go and defeat more ghosts. Tanjiro also said with a smile. I will do my best. Of course. Yuan Yi also replied with a smile. At this time, Inosuke saw that the rice balls could no longer hold back, so he reached out and took 2 rice balls and stuffed them into his mouth. Don't eat now. Zenitsu quickly grabbed Inosuke to stop him. But it was too late, Inosuke had already taken off his hood and started eating like crazy. So I told you not to eat anymore. Shut up. Leave me alone. At this time, Yuan Yi found Tomioka Giyu standing in the corner. Tanjiro also found it and hurried to Tomioka Giyu. Are we going to go out now? Tomioka Giyu asked. Yes. It seems that you have mastered the full concentration and constant hit. Yes. Keep going. Yes. Tanjiro looked at Tomioka Giyu in front of him and said gratefully. Mr. Tomioka, thank you very much for Nezuko. I don't know how to thank you for risking your life for us. Tomioka Giyu turned his head to the side. If you want to thank me with work. Our mission of the Demon Slayer Corps is to defeat demons, that's it. Yes. After saying that, Tomioka Giyu disappeared from the spot. At this time, Yuan, who was not far away, looked at Tomioka Giyu beside him. Are you also going on a mission with Tanjiro and the others this time? Tomioka Giyu asked. That's right. Be careful. Don't worry, I will take care of Tanjiro and the others. Tomioka Giyu said nothing more, turned around and left silently. What a dishonest guy. ... Goodbye, everyone. The group began to rush to the Infinite Station. At dusk, everyone reached their destination. The scene at this time shocked Inosuke, who was staying in the mountains. Hello. 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 Inosuke looked at the infinite train in front of him with a huge whistle and made a horrified sound. This. What is this creature? Chapter 26, Infinite Train 2. What is this? The huge shouting attracted the attention of pedestrians around. This guy must be the one, the owner of this land. Inosuke pointed at the train and said tremblingly. This length, this deterrent power, there is no mistake. It seems to be still asleep now, but don't be careless. Zenitsu looked at the funny Inosuke and said speechlessly. No, this is a train, don't you know? Shish, quiet. I'll take the lead first. Inosuke was about to draw his sword and rush to the train. This is a train, idiot, Zenitsu said while riding. It's a means of transportation. It transports people. Oh, that's it. Tanjiro also suddenly realized, after all, Tanjiro has lived in the mountains since he was a child and has never seen much of the world. Okay, everyone, be quiet. Yuan stopped several people from fighting. Everyone hide the knives, it will be troublesome if the police see it. Tanjiro was a little confused when he heard it. Why is it troublesome to be seen by the police? That's because there is a ban on swords. Now it is not allowed to carry swords in public. Alas, can't we, the Demon Slayer Corps, do the same? Yeah, Yuan sighed. After all, our Demon Slayer Corps is not an organization recognized by the higher-ups, so of course we can't walk around with swords openly. Even if you tell them about ghosts, they won't believe it. Even if they believe it, they won't admit the existence of ghosts, and there will be chaos. Tanjiro was a little disappointed when he heard the answer. We are working so hard. There is no other way. Let's wrap up the swords and hide them behind us. Everyone hid the swords in their clothes, except Inosuke, whose exposed upper body could not hide the two wrapped swords at all. After the adjustment, everyone got on the train together, intending to meet up with Kyujiro first. The train started slowly, making a roar of the steam age. Yo-ho-ho-ho. Looking at the scene that was constantly retreating by the window, Inosuke let out excited shouts. So fast. I'm going to race with it. Inosuke opened the window and was about to jump off the train. Are you an idiot? Tanjiro and Zenitsu quickly grabbed Inosuke. How idiotic are you? Let's go find Master Rengoku first. Yeah, I remember it was in the front car, let's go. Is Mr. Rengoku the pillar? Zenitsu asked Yuan. Yeah, not only the pillar, but also my master. Tanjiro also remembered Kyujiro whom he met in Ubuyashiki's mansion. I remember, his hair was very bright, I remember his smell, ah. Tanjiro seemed to know something and began to speed up. This smell, Mr. Rengoku is in front. The group began to walk through the car, and when the door of the car was opened, a shout stunned everyone. 5 ants. Zenitsu was frightened by the sudden voice and retreated behind everyone. I didn't see the person, but I heard his voice. Teacher Rengoku hasn't changed. Yuan sighed in his heart. Teacher Rengoku, we are here. But Kyujiro didn't answer Yuan immediately, but 5 ants, 5 ants, 5 ants, until he swallowed the last bite of the bento. Is this the flame pillar, Yuani's master? Zenitsu asked carefully, and it was obvious that the image of Rengoku Kyujiro was slightly different from the pillar he imagined. Yeah, Not just any gourmet. Yeah, that. Tanjiro couldn't help but ask. Mr. Rengoku. Kyujiro suddenly turned to Yuani and his group. 5 ants. We already know this. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audio Wave. The waiter on the train was carrying a sack of lunch that Kyujiro had finished. Yuani, do you want lunch? It's delicious. Yuani didn't bother to be polite with Kyujiro, and naturally took a few lunch boxes and gave them to the 3 little ones, and then sat down opposite Kyujiro. Kyujiro also looked at Tanjiro at this time. You saw it at the Lord. Yes, my name is Kamado Tanjiro. Tanjiro also answered immediately and introduced the people around him. These 2 are Agatsuma Zenitsu and Hashibira Inosuke, who are both members of the Demon Slayer Corps. Is that so? The box contains. Yes, it's my sister Nezuko. Tanjiro looked at the box behind him. Yes, it's the demon from that time. Since the Lord approves and Yuani trusts you, I won't have any objections. Kyujiro said with his arms crossed. Sit down here. Kyujiro patted the empty seat beside him. Then why did you come here with Yuani? Is there a mission? Yes, Master Rengoku. Yuani replied. The order came from the crow, saying that the number of victims of the infinite train has increased. So Tanjiro and the others are here to help investigate and kill the hidden demons. Yes, I see. At this time, Tanjiro asked. Mr. Rengoku, Brother Yuani. I have something to ask you. What is it? Tell me. It's about my father. Tanjiro paused as if thinking about how to explain. My father is a sickly man, but he can dance in the snow. That's amazing. Excuse me. Go ahead. Kyujiro said boldly. The god of fire Kagura round dance. I used it subconsciously. It's the Kagura I saw when I was a child. If Mr. Rengoku and Brother Yuani have any impressions, can you tell me? Kyujiro was silent for a moment, then said. Yes, but I don't know. This is the first time I've heard the name of the god of fire Kagura. Tanjiro was silent when he heard the answer, but Yuani's words rekindled his hope. Tanjiro, I should know where your god of fire Kagura came from. Really? Tanjiro asked in surprise. According to your description, it should be the same breathing method I am using now. Huh. Tanjiro was a little surprised, and Yuani continued. The original name of the god of fire Kagura should be sun breathing, which is the original breathing method. The reason I believe this is because of your earrings, Tanjiro. Tanjiro was a little confused when Yuani pointed to the pendant on his ear. That was during the Warring States period. My ancestor, Tsugakuin Yoriichi, was also a member of the Demon Slayer Corps during that era, and the original breathing method was created by him. Tanjiro also asked a question. Why do you know it is the breathing of the sun when you see my earrings? This earring is passed down from my ancestors. Because my ancestor once went to a family that made a living by selling charcoal. At that time, he was grateful to this family and gave his earrings and breathing method to this family before leaving. And the head of this family is named Kamado Tanji. Tanjiro suddenly realized, so the god of fire Kagura is the breathing of the sun. I understand. Thank you, Brother Yoriichi. Tanjiro finally resolved the doubts in his heart. Tanjiro. Yoriichi suddenly called Tanjiro's name. What's wrong, Brother Yoriichi? Do you want to be my stepson? Quote question mark quote. Quote exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark quote. Chapter 27, Infinite Train 3. Tanjiro, come and be my stepson. I'll take good care of you. Tanjiro was startled by Yuani's words. Brother Yuani's stepson. Me. Tanjiro was a little stuttering. That's right. You can use the breath of the sun just like me, and your Nichiren blades are also black. As he spoke, Yuani took out the Nichiren blades behind him, pulled out the blade, and a touch of obsidian luster appeared in front of everyone. In an instant, red lines gushed out like magma, and finally like burning charcoal. In my opinion, the future of black swordsmen is limitless. The reason why the swordsmen in the past thought that black swordsmen had no talent was because they didn't know how to study the use of black swords. The black sword is actually an undeveloped red sword. When combined with the breath of the sun, the sword will turn red and will cause greater damage to the ghost. The original swordsman called this red blade, Red Blade. Yuani looked at Tanjiro seriously and invited him again. Tanjiro. Become my stepson. Tanjiro came to his senses and immediately replied. Please accept me as your apprentice. Very good. I will definitely train you to be an excellent swordsman. Yuan Yi smiled with satisfaction when he saw Tanjiro agreed. Kyujiro on the side was also very pleased to see this scene. That's right. I will also take good care of you, after all, Tanjiro is also my apprentice. Yes, I will try my best. Brother Yuan Yi, no. Master Yuan Yi. The train was running fast on the track. At this time, a severed hand appeared on the floor in a car of the train. I didn't expect it. I just wanted to get rid of the flame pillar, but there was another one. The demon hunter with the sun earrings is here too. Ah, it's really exciting. Enmu, the first of the upper strings, twitched his severed hand happily, and at this time, another voice came from the shadows. Not only the lower ranks will come this time, but the upper rank Akaza-sama will also come. You'd better behave yourself, otherwise we can't afford to ruin the Lord's plan. What does it matter? Enmu said somewhat dissatisfiedly. It's just 2 pillars. This time, the Lord has given us new power. They are just pillars. There is nothing to be afraid of. Enmu looked at the ghost who spoke. If you are not convinced, you can ask for a bloody battle. As long as I kill all the ghost hunters on the train, the Lord will definitely give me more blood. Enmu disappeared with the other evil ghosts, as if they had never been there. In the carriage, the 3 little ones were still making a lot of noise, but Inosuke was particularly eye-catching, perhaps because he was wearing a pig head mask. Inosuke kept sighing. The belly of this giant beast is really amazing, so fast. Ha 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 ha. Sorry. I'm really sorry. Tanjiro and Zenitsu could only keep apologizing to the passengers around them. By the way, I just felt the breath of ghosts, and the most serious breath is at the front of the train, where the ghosts should gather. Yuan Yi analyzed the current information while eating his lunch box. Ah, is there a ghost on the train? So scary. Zenitsu howled again. It doesn't matter. As long as I am here, no one on the train will die. Kyujiro said boldly. Ah, Master Rengoku protects everyone, I will protect Master Rengoku. Yuan Yi also said with a smile. At this time, a ticket seller began to check tickets for passengers in the carriage. What are you doing? Why do you cut a hole in the ticket? Tanjiro asked curiously. That's the ticket inspector checking tickets to prevent people from evading tickets. However, Yuan Yi noticed something wrong when he saw the ticket inspector, so he said to Kyujiro. This ticket inspector is not right. Although he is a human, he is stained with the breath of ghosts. Don't be careless. The group decided to wait and see what tricks the ghosts on the train will play. After checking the tickets, the ticket inspector left the carriage and walked towards the front of the train. As expected, it has something to do with ghosts. Yuan Yi suddenly felt sleepy, and when he was about to close his eyes, he bit the tip of his tongue and woke up immediately. Blood ghost technique. Yuan Yi looked at the 3 little ones sleeping beside him. Fortunately, he prepared in advance, and Kyujiro did not fall asleep with him. At this time, 2 ghosts suddenly jumped out of the carriage. One was like a gorilla, and the other was like a spider, and surrounded Yuan Yi and the others from the front and back. Master Rengoku, leave the gorilla in front to me. Then I'll deal with the one behind. Kyujiro said and rushed towards the spider ghost quickly. Breath of Flame 2, Ascending Blaze. The Nichiren blades in Kyujiro's hand emitted a ring of flames from bottom to top, and the spider ghost's neck was cut off on the spot. Yuan Yi was not to be outdone, and quickly cut the gorilla ghost into pieces with his knife. Master Rengoku. The ghost who launched the blood ghost art is at the head of the train. I'll go and deal with him, and I'll leave this to Master Rengoku. Don't worry. Yuan Yi, leave this to me. Yuan Yi didn't hesitate any longer, and rushed towards the front of the train. As he went deeper, the smell of the ghost became more and more pungent. Walking to the door of the first carriage, Yuan Yi opened a window on one side and felt the whistling wind. Then he leaned out half of his body, grabbed the edge of the outer train, and swung suddenly and landed on the train. Yuan Yi looked forward, and a figure stood with his hands hanging down on the front of the train. Huh, didn't you enter the dream? You can have a good dream. Enmu seemed to be talking to himself. Forget it, let you have a good nightmare. Enmu looked at Yuan Yi and raised his hand, and the mouth on his hand was immediately aimed at Yuan Yi. Tisk. It really makes people feel uncomfortable. Yuan Yi looked at Enmu's hand and complained. Intoxicated in the dream. Sleep. Squeak. Before the mouth in Enmu's hand opened, Enmu felt a pain, and then one arm flew high. Good ability, but a little slow. So fast. I can't see his movements at all. Is this the strength of the pillar? It's completely different from the ghost hunters I met before. Go to sleep. Enmu used the same trick again, but... Puff. This time it was Enmu's head that flew up. Tisk, you still don't learn your lesson. Enmu's head rolled to the side, but did not disappear immediately. Do you think you can kill me like this? As he spoke, Enmu's head turned into a pool of blood and flesh, merging with the black flesh that flowed out of the head of the train, and finally a long worm appeared in front of Yuan. Even more disgusting. At this time, Enmu's teasing voice also came. I have already merged with the train, and everyone on the train is my hostage. What are you going to do? Hey, Yuan sneered. As long as it is a ghost, it must have a neck. Just find your neck and cut it off. Yuan opened the transparent world, and the invisible perception began to cover the train, and soon locked Enmu's neck. After finding Enmu's neck, Yuan immediately set off, slashed the surrounding tentacles with a wave, and rushed towards one of the carriages. Seeing Yuan's actions, Enmu began to panic. How long do you want to see? Hurry up and do it. As soon as the voice fell, Yuan was suddenly surrounded by several evil spirits. Oh, look at the eyes, are they all lower string? Faced with the encirclement of evil spirits, Yuan was not panicked at all. It should be said that Yuan had already discovered the evil spirits ambushing around, but he didn't expect that the evil spirits that came out this time were all 12 Kazuki. So what if it's a pillar? Facing the siege of R12 Kazuki, there is only one way to die. This time it was really a big deal. Yuan observed the evil spirits around him. At present, except for the tired ones who were killed, all the lower string ghosts gathered here. This is good, so I don't have to look for them one by one. Yuan's indifferent attitude made the lower string ghosts furious. Just a human. Chapter 28 Infinite Train 4. Kill him. Don't underestimate 12 Kazuki. The fierce attacks came from all directions towards Yuan Yi, and several different attacks blocked all the space around Yuan Yi. Faced with the overwhelming attacks, Yuan Yi remained calm. Sun-breathing 11-type Sun Halo Dragon Head Dance. Yuan Yi held the Nichiren blades, and with a flick of his wrist, a fire dragon instantly rotated with the blade. The scorching temperature and the water vapor evaporated from the air instantly covered the surroundings and spread in all directions. The terrifying fire dragon rushed straight towards the surrounding ghosts with a scorching attack, and the fire dragon swirled from the inside to the outside and crossed the neck of the ghost. The next moment, the body of the giant fire dragon slowly dissipated, and the figure of the ghost inside also disappeared in the red flames. Damn, what's wrong with this ghost hunter? The other lower strings were solved in an instant. Not good, it hasn't completely merged with the train yet. Seeing the companions around him being solved in an instant, Enmu was completely panicked. We're almost there. I'm not kidding you. Feeling the breath of the ghost in the carriage under his feet, Yuan jumped directly from the roof into the carriage. Don't even think about it. Enmu hurriedly controlled countless meat tentacles to attack. The dense purple-black meat strips were like a raging tsunami, rushing towards Yuan. Yuan did not dodge, and cut them all off in a flash. Yuan's speed seemed to stop the world. The red color on the blade turned into gorgeous rainbow light when it was waving. Enmu's human sea tactics were completely meaningless, and the so-called defense was a complete joke. Under Yuan's attack, Enmu's flesh and blood defense suddenly collapsed. Enmu couldn't believe that his strengthened defense was so vulnerable, and the fear in his heart reached its peak. Yuan's blade easily cut across Enmu's neck. With Enmu's scream, the black flesh attached to the train began to turn into ashes. The surrounding carriages were filled with black smoke, and Yuan sighed. Compared to the battle with the ghost, the aftermath of the train was more troublesome. What happened? We fell asleep like this. With the death of Enmu, everyone in the dream woke up at this time. Where is brother Yuan? Zenitsu looked around, but there was no trace of Yuan, and Kyujiro's sword was unsheathed. I'm here. Yuan pushed the door of the carriage and came in front of several people. Ah, Yuan, it seems that you have solved it. Rengoku Kyujiro looked at Yuan with great energy. Well, there is a lower-ranked ghost there, which can pull people into dreams. Now it has been solved. Yuan said lightly, as if it was something insignificant. Hey, is there a ghost? When? And it's a lower rank. Tanjiro looked at Yuan who was unharmed, and couldn't help sighing in his heart. As expected of Master Yuan, he killed 12 Kazuki without any injury. Well done. Kyujiro praised Yuan generously. Yuan was about to say something, but suddenly looked towards the woods in the distance. The battle is not over yet, it's just warm-up now, the big one is coming. Kyujiro was also stunned for a moment, and glanced around. Not over yet. Tanjiro, you three stay in the carriage to protect the civilians, Master Rengoku and I will go to the carriage. Bang! A loud noise came from the roof of the car. Are you here? Master Rengoku. Ah! Kyujiro also responded decisively, quickly jumping out of the window and onto the roof. At this time, a big hole had been smashed in the roof, and countless fragments were flying in the air with smoke. In the dust, a figure slowly stood up, and the whole scene was like slow motion, and the air seemed to be distorted because of this figure. When the smoke dissipated, the true face of the figure was revealed in front of the two. The whole body of the visitor was covered with patterns representing sinners, and there was no emotional fluctuation in his eyes. His sharp eyes swept around everything. His clothes fluttered in the wind, and the upper string 3 in his pupils showed the identity of the visitor. Upper string 3 Akaza. Akaza raised his head and looked at the two of them, as if he was looking at two prey. The atmosphere in the air began to become solemn. It seemed that time had slowed down. Is it an upper string? Or the third upper string? Tanjiro, who was worried about Yuan and the others, followed them. Tanjiro knew that the ghost in front of him was ridiculously strong just by seeing Akaza. Tanjiro, go back. Take care of the people in the car. Yuan said seriously. Tanjiro didn't say anything. He already knew the seriousness of the matter. Master Yuan, it's okay. We can deal with him soon. Tanjiro turned around and went back to the car. After watching Tanjiro leave, Yuan focused his attention on Akaza again. Akaza just watched quietly and didn't stop Tanjiro, because in his eyes, the weak didn't even have the qualifications for him to attack. Seeing that Yuan and the others adjusted their postures to face him, Akaza also began to attack actively. Bang! With the sound of footsteps on the roof, Akaza turned into a residual shadow and rushed towards Yuan and the others. Looking at Akaza who was getting closer and closer, the two no longer stayed behind. Flame breathing type 1, Shiranui. Sun breathing type 1, round dance. The two voices appeared almost at the same time, and then two arcs of fire hit Akaza's fist. Akaza's fist melted quickly under the fire, but his expression did not change at all. Sizzle. The extremely high temperature even made Akaza's blood turn into steam before it could drip down. Nice move. Akaza looked at his slowly recovering arm. You, and you, are both very good for being able to hurt me and suppress the speed of self-healing. Akaza looked at Yuan Yi and the other two with fanaticism in his eyes, not caring at all that the other party had just hurt him. The most important thing is that Akaza could feel the familiar breath coming from the two people opposite. What a strong fighting spirit. I hate weak humans very much, they are disgusting. Akaza said. I knew you were very strong at first glance, you should be the pillar of the Demon Slayer Corps, right? I am the Flame Pillar Rengoku Kyujiro. Kyujiro reported his name very honestly. 12 Kazuki upper rank 3 Akaza, what about you? Interesting boy. Akaza looked at Yuan. Yaoju, Jigoku Yuan. Looking at the fighting spirit condensed in the two, Akaza became more and more excited. Very good, before the battle, I have a suggestion. You guys, do you want to become a ghost? Chapter 29 Infinite Train 5. Come and become a ghost. I can feel that Kyujiro, you are not far from that peak. As long as you become a ghost, you will have enough time to hone your fighting spirit. Akaza stretched out his hand to Kyujiro. I refuse, Kyujiro said without hesitation. It's a pity, but you can enjoy a hearty battle before you die. You are ignoring me. Yuan looked at Akaza in front of him. You are the target that the adults must kill, so there is no need to waste words. You are really confident. Just you. Or the guy who has been hiding behind. Yuan looked at the ruins behind Akaza. Oh my, what a keen sense. Soon a figure walked out of the pit of the train, and then the moonlight saw the other person's full appearance. The man has 7 rainbow eyes and hair color is pure as white jade, but his face does not have the ruddy complexion of humans. He is wearing a red shirt and looks like a missionary. On his left and right eyes, there are upper string and 2 engraved respectively. The visitor is Doma, the second upper string. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Doma, the second upper string. My hobby is beautiful girls. Duma always keeps a smile when he speaks, but it is only a smile, which makes everyone present, people, all think his smile is fake. I am very principled. I am best at saving beautiful girls. As long as I eat them all, they can get eternal life with me and go to paradise. Am I very powerful? Duma asked proudly. Tisk. This time, it was not Yuan Yi and the others who spoke, but Akaza who was standing aside. Ah. Why do you look unhappy, Mr. Akaza? Smile. Duma said and was about to put his hand on Akaza's shoulder. Don't touch me with your dirty hands. Akaza slapped Doma's hand away in disgust, well, in a physical sense. Hey, don't be so excited, Akaza-sama. After all, we are important companions, and it's only right that you care about us. Duma still had a fake smile on his face, not caring about his broken arm at all. Besides, the superiors don't need to be angry with the inferiors, stay calm. Hearing this, Akaza couldn't hold back his trembling hands and was about to hit Doma on the head. Akaza-sama. Muzan's orders take priority, and we can talk after we complete the mission, right? Duma said to Akaza, holding a fan in one hand. Yuani looked at the 2 ghosts opposite and laughed. It seems that the relationship between you 12 Kazuki is not very good. What are you talking about? I am a very good friend of them. But what he faced was not the answer, but Yuani's sword skills. At this time, Kyujiro and Akaza were also fighting. Facing Yuani's sword skills, Doma waved the iron fan slowly, and while waving, a piece of ice crystal condensed in the air, and then rushed towards Yuani with the biting cold wind. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audio Wave. I saw a hot flame flash, and a sword energy instantly tore through the cold wind and passed straight towards Doma. Doma touched his cheek, and a wound was slowly healing. For many years, I don't know how many years humans have left wounds on me. Doma also began to take it seriously, waving the iron fan in his hand, and several crystal children surrounded Yuani. But before Doma could perform the blood ghost technique, the crystal children turned into steam in several flames. Doma took advantage of this gap to quickly condense an ice armor and attack Yuani. But what Doma didn't expect was that he not only failed to attack Yuani, but was stabbed several times by the opponent. The power of the stab even penetrated the ice armor. Doma waved his hand and summoned several ice men to try to consume Yuani's physical strength. Blood Demon Art Lotus Leaf Ice. A burst of cold air composed of ice crystals spread in the air and slowly flowed towards Yuani. Yuani did not dare to be careless and immediately used his sword skills to evaporate all the ice crystals in the air. Really amazing, it seems that I have to show some real skills. Seeing Yuani easily resolve his attack, Doma also began to silently accumulate strength. Ice blades like raindrops fell from the sky and rushed towards Yuani madly. Yuani held Nichiren blades and calmly blocked all the ice blades. At this time, Doma revealed his true purpose. Blood Demon Art Ice Lotus Bodhisattva. As Doma was shrouded in ice fog again, a huge ice bodhisattva appeared in front of Yuani. Although the power is weakened due to the limitation of the venue, it is enough to deal with you. The smile on Doma's face began to become very creepy. Ice walls rose one after another, surrounding Yuani. Yuani directly turned on the pattern firepower, and several flaming sword chi melted the ice walls one by one. After a while, Yuani rushed out of the layers of encirclement and jumped straight into Doma in the ice mist. Sun-breathing Type 5 Train. The ice armor on Doma's body turned into ice chips on the spot. Doma, who was severely injured, could not maintain the Blood Demon Art, and the ice bodhisattva collapsed in an instant. Doma spit out a mouthful of blood uncontrollably, and the continuous Blood Demon Art also consumed him greatly. Seeing that the situation was unfavorable, Doma wanted to jump out of the car and escape. But Yuani did not give him this opportunity. A fire dragon rushed out of the darkness and bit directly at Doma's neck. Doma had no time to react and hit the fire dragon hard. Doma, I have to say that you are really strong, but it is precisely because you are too strong that you must stay here today. A bright arc of fire cut through the air, and Doma's ghost head was separated on the spot. From the beginning to the end of the battle with Jigyu Yuan Yi, it only took a few minutes. 12 Kazuki, upper string 2 Doma, fell to the street. On the other side, the battle between Kyujiro and Akaza is also getting intense. Kyujiro, tell me, you want to become a ghost. Chapter 30 Infinite Train v. Kyujiro, tell me you want to become a ghost. Even in the fierce battle, Akaza still persuaded Kyujiro to become a ghost. You understand, your fighting spirit has reached a very high level, but you can never enter the Supreme Realm. Because you are human, Akaza said excitedly. As long as you become a ghost, you can get rid of the weak human body and have endless time. No longer old, no longer dead. So, Kyujiro, become a ghost. Kyujiro ignored Akaza's solicitation, fighting back and refuting Akaza's point of view. Growing and dying are also the beauty of the brevity of human life. Because of aging and dying, humans are so cute and so sacred. The so-called strength is not just a word used to describe the body. I say again, my values are very different from yours. No matter what the reason, I will not become a ghost. Kyujiro's words made Akaza close his eyes slightly. I see. Then Akaza did not hold back and attacked Kyujiro with all his strength. Start the technique, Akaza shouted, and a snowflake-like field spread out under his feet. Destroy the killing needle. Since you don't want to be a ghost, I will kill you. Then Akaza disappeared from the spot in an instant and attacked Kyujiro fiercely. Kyujiro fought back, and sparks flew all over the top of the train, and the entire roof became tattered. Looking at the fighting Kyujiro and the two through the hole, the three little ones were horrified at this time. Is this the battle between the upper rank and the pillar? So fast. My eyes can't keep up at all. So far, I haven't killed the flame pillar, and no one has accepted my invitation. Akaza said to Kyujiro with a grin, and Kyujiro took advantage of the gap to cut Akaza's hand with a knife, but the knife got stuck in his wrist. Why is this happening? As a fellow martial artist, I just can't understand. Only the chosen ones can become demons. Akaza punched Kyujiro in the face, and Kyujiro adjusted his stance and cut off Akaza's arm. But Akaza's self-healing ability was beyond imagination, and he was restored to his original state in just a snap of his fingers. People with outstanding talents are constantly becoming ugly and old. This makes me sad, but I can't stand it. Akaza punched Kyujiro's Nichiren blades. While you are young and strong, you should die quickly, Kyujiro. Akaza jumped into the air, took a stance, and punched Kyujiro in the air. Destruction killing air style. Blue energy balls hit Kyujiro, and Kyujiro was hit without paying attention. Cough. The huge impact force made Kyujiro's breath disordered. So that's how it is. Kyujiro also saw through Akaza's moves. Flame breathing type 4, flame whirlpool. The blazing flames surrounded Kyujiro like a shield, and Akaza blocked all the energy bullets he fired. He punched the air, but he was still able to hit me. And he was very fast. Kyujiro quickly analyzed the situation. It was not easy to cut his neck at this distance. So, Kyujiro suddenly turned into a beam of fire and moved in front of Akaza, so fast that Akaza didn't even react for a while. Kyujiro swung his sword, but Akaza leaned back slightly to avoid the attack. What an excellent reaction speed. Akaza was getting more and more excited at this time. This excellent swordsmanship will disappear with you. The two of them fought back and forth, blood splattered, some from Akaza and some from Kyujiro. Kyujiro, aren't you sad? Everyone is the same. As a human being, it should be like this. Kyujiro shouted. Akaza still refused to give up. Become a ghost. Kyujiro. Keep fighting with me. Let's get stronger together. You have what it takes. I refuse. Even though he was out of breath, Kyujiro still refused firmly. I say again, I hate you. I won't become a ghost. Kyujiro rushed towards Akaza again. Flame breathing type 3, air flame myriad. Excellent, beautiful fight. Akaza dodged the attack and became more and more satisfied with Kyujiro. The two fought back and forth, and their wounds increased. Seeing this, Akaza shouted again. Don't you understand? Continuing to attack is just courting your own destruction. Kyujiro. The only response he got was Kyujiro's roar and the blazing flames. Flame Breathing Type 1, Shiranui. Flame Breathing Type 2, Rising Enthusiast. Kyujuro kept attacking, trying to break through Akaza's defense. The battle with ghosts was destined to be unfair, but Kyujuro still went forward courageously. It would be a pity to kill you now, Akaza said as he attacked. Your body is not at its peak yet. You will become stronger in 1 or 2 years. Akaza pushed Kyujuro back a few steps. Akaza stood on the roof of the car, and the wounds on his body healed quickly, and the severed parts regenerated instantly. Stop, Kyujuro, Akaza said to the tenacious figure in front of him. You are very strong, but the recovery ability of ghosts is far beyond that of humans, even in terms of physical strength. You are already at the end of your strength, Akaza said to Kyujuro expressionlessly. Kyujuro did not speak when he heard Akaza's words, but took advantage of the gap to recover his physical strength. Akaza stroked the scars on his body and watched them heal quickly. Look, the wound you inflicted with all your might healed in a short while. So, become a ghost, Kyujuro. Get eternal life. You will have endless time to study martial arts. Keep fighting with me. Let's step into the highest realm together. Akaza extended his hand to Kyujuro, his eyes full of sincerity. If you continue to fight, you will definitely die. This time Kyujuro did not refuse again. After all, Kyujuro had refused many times, and this time he did not want to speak again. The wound on the corner of Kyujuro's eye made him unable to open his eyes, and his intact right eye stared at Akaza. Kyujuro knew in his heart that Akaza was right. His physical strength could not support him to fight for a long time. If he continued to fight, he would definitely die here. But, so what? I will fulfill my duty. Kyujuro once again clenched the Nichiren blades, and the blood-stained Haori floated in the air. I won't let anyone die here. Thank you for watching. Continue exploring the fascinating world of Chinese novels with us. Hit that subscribe button on Chinese Novel Audio Wave to stay updated with our latest stories. And never miss out on a great listen.